Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Animac here from Anime Uproar, and welcome to the brand new episode of the One Piece Virgin, episode 13, still in the Skypiea arc, and covering chapters 260 to 280. Joining me today, along with Nux and Briggs, it's Eden.
Nux and Briggs! Gotta give us time to do the Nux and Briggs thing, Anime.
No, I didn't want to give you time because I wanted to make it awkward for everyone. Hello, Eden.
Hey guys, it's me, Eden.
What's up, Core?
That's the greatest intro of all time. Very
Thank you.
impressive. Damn.
Well, how's he supposed to follow this? The Nux and Briggs crazy.
It's hard.
He could go, Korra Eden!
My
Like, you
ears.
could at least
My
try.
ears.
Okay,
This
okay.
is why I don't introduce Nux to full volume.
Oh,
Ow.
my bad. I'll shut up now.
No, it's okay.
Chapters 260 to 280. Then next week, what are we doing, Briggs? Are we doing that filler arc?
Off Skypiea.
We are doing the rest of Skypiea, boys.
So when is the filler arc chronologically?
After Skypiea.
Yeah, the second I can't spoil, but the second Skypiea is done, it transitions smoothly into the filler arc. Because
Yeah,
One
so
Piece
there's
filler
an
is
anime
superior.
Perhaps, maybe.
There is apparently an anime filler arc called G8, and a lot of people have been pestering us to cover that before going into the.
Why do you say
Other
pestering
arcs
us?
of the
A lot
manga.
of people advised us to have a wonderful experience reading G8. What's wrong with you, anime?
Watching G8.
Watching G8. So yeah, we'll concede to your pestering, guys, and we will do the G8 arc after Skypiea. But
oh my god, we're
first
gonna have
things
two
first.
back-to-back episodes: the G8 arc and then the Long Ring Land arc.
Ronga ringo ronga rando. Say it
it's
right.
an amazing
Nux.
arc. I know what you're talking about, Nux.
So just saying, so the Skypiea arc's final chapter is 302. So we will be doing 280 to 302 next week.
Very
Awesome.
Cool.
That's good info. Thank you. And also, quick reminder that if you do like this podcast, share it with your friends who are into One Piece or thinking about getting into One Piece. That would help us out a lot. And obviously, rating the podcast and all that fun stuff. Also, a big announcement for those of you who watched the Rank of Anime podcast on Thursday. This Thursday of this week, we're going to be revealing the second chapter of our Rank of Isekai. And we have some other special news. So, definitely tune in this week.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's so good, Animac. I'm actually I'm so impressed.
Thank you, sir. I'm also very excited
You
for it.
had it in you, bro.
Oh, I have a lot of it in me.
Embracing
Nice.
your inner me.
Anyways, so in terms of this part of Skypiea, there are two things that interested me the most. One is the whole El Dorado, Shandora, ancient city aspect, and Robin's connection, the connection she makes between that and the Polnaglyphs, or gifts. Polnaglyph?
Poneglyphs.
Polnaglyphs. I know, man, it's always confusing because of Polnareff.
I
always
love how
think
that's why it's
Polnareff.
confusing.
All right, Polnaglyphs. Okay. Polnaglyphs are related to this lost city of Shandora. Apparently, 1100 years ago, it was like a thriving city. Then 800 years ago, it was destroyed somehow. And then 400 years ago, it was blown up into the sky. But Robin mentioned something that I thought was really interesting. She said that there is a 100-year gap in the history of the world.
Bum,
A
bum,
period-
bum!
A period that no one talks about, and the destruction of Shandora falls within that time period, and she's wondering whether the inhabitants of Shandora were fighting the enemy. So all of that stuff that Robin said with Shandora, I thought was really, really interesting.
So that is straight up one of my favorite mysteries in One Piece.
Yep. And it's finally
So you're-
starting to get revealed a little bit now.
So you're basically telling me that 1,000 chapters in, it's still a mystery.
Well, it's maybe perhaps less of a mystery.
It is
Oh,
less of a
okay.
mystery, but the mystery continues. Thank you,
It
Beck, for the
does.
420 bits. Just Blaze.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Although don't do drugs. We don't condone drugs
but
on this
Beck-
family-friendly podcast
I
channel.
mean, I hate to
You're
be
right.
spoil. I hate to spoil things, but Beck does drugs.
I mean,
Love
don't
you
do
though.
Don't do it, bro. Anyway, the other really important, really interesting thing to me was Enel himself. And I will say Enel because that's what everyone seems to be saying. And they say that when I say Eneru, it's cultural appropriation or whatever. Anyways, Enel is just such an interesting villain. so overpowered, bro. Like he can become lightning to the point that you can't even like injure him because everything goes through him because he's lightning, and he can just shock everyone, crush everyone. It's insane how powerful he is. So I feel like we thought, Crocodile was powerful. Bruh, this guy is on a totally different level because lightning is fast. It's incredibly powerful. He can turn into it so he can avoid all attacks. It's so crazy. And at this point, I'm very interested in him as a villain. I think he's really cool. And I don't even see how they can possibly defeat him because if they do, it's going to feel like a ripoff because this dude is so strong. And he's been plotting for so long. It's like, how can they even do it? Yeah.
Do you know what Luffy's going to need to do to, save the day? Touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable. Raw, fight the power.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Sick reference, not at all forced.
The crazy thing about this arc and Enel is how insane he is. Like Logias are already fucking broken at this point in the story. Crocodile was broken. We had to it was a tough battle for Luffy to fight, and Luffy Crocodile's bounty was 80, and in my opinion, I think Enel would defeat Crocodile with very little difficulty whatsoever.
Oh.
Not only is he faster, not only is his power far more destructible, but he has mantra, which is mantra. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Which he's better than him in every way. And now we have Luffy and the crew still at the start of their journey more or less having to fight this god, honestly.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of thinking when I was going through this. This guy is so strong to be introduced at this point in the game that I feel like if they just utterly defeat him or kill him now, it's gonna feel kind of cheap.
Unless there's hacks on their side.
Yeah, but so there was the thing with the whole sea prism, but even that didn't work. So it's like,
I love how people are attacking NL, but it's to the point that this man believes he is a god. That's what's so terrifying about him. He's not just trying to hype it up. I mean, as much as I respect Escanor for his trash talk, NL trash talks by just trying to spit facts. There was this one, I tuned into Briggs' stream at one point, and while he was reading One Piece. And this is exactly where he was up to. By the way, everyone should follow Briggs on Twitch, twitch.com/beastlybriggs. But anyway, I tuned in, and he's like, what does he say, Briggs? Something about my divine providence. And he says that divine providence is the fear of a god or whatever, etc., etc. And he says, I am providence. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so for sure. And Enel, being a human who ate the devil fruit, the Gomu... What is it?
No. The lightning, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. The lightning devil fruit. He was a human. He became a god with this godly power. And I feel like the way the power corrupts him makes perfect sense, because if a human became so powerful, they probably would be thinking, man, other people's lives don't even matter because I'm so special. I get to do whatever I want with other people. I don't care if I kill them all, because the power corrupted him. So I definitely can see how this would happen, because if you're that strong and everyone else is just joke to you, you would start thinking, yeah, everyone else is expendable. I can do whatever I want.
Especially the powers that he's given via his devil fruit. Not only the fact that he could literally smite down people that he doesn't like with lightning, an element from the sky. He can move at I guess the speed of light or lightning.
It's like Zeus vibes,
Yeah, literally god vibes. But also, I don't know if it's his mantra or his lightning or a combination of both. He can literally hear the conversations people are having across this entire Sky Island. So it's so godlike, and he's so superior to everyone else. People can't even touch him. He's unreachable. He literally, when in that one fight, he's like, for 5 minutes, I won't even fight back, and there's nothing the person could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he just turns into lightning.
Eden, you've been far too quiet. For those of you that don't know, Eden is an absolute mad lad. Korewa Eden. He will link in the description of the YouTube video. And he is currently watching One Piece for the first time, and he's in the middle of Water 7, which is the first major arc after Skypiea.
First 10 out of 10 arc, I'll call it right now.
Water 7's pretty amazing.
I can't explain why because of Mr. Animac here, but oh my. There's much to look forward to.
I don't know, man. I think that Alabasta was the perfect arc, so I don't think...
Alabasta isn't even a pebble to some of the stuff that's happening in Water 7 right now. But go ahead, Nux, go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying, so Mr. Eden has some very interesting thoughts about the Skypiea.
Oh no, he's gonna put me on the spot. No.
I will, because you said you have to leave soon. So, speak your heart, boy.
Well, I only have one modest complaint. Okay, well, first of all, the whole arc is really good. Probably my favorite aspect of it is like the history of Skypiea, just how it blends into everything. Like it's almost like it was foreshadowing, or like, but foreshadowing probably isn't the right term to use. But like everything just seems to stem so beautifully like connected. And that's like probably the best part about One Piece is just the world building. Like we will get a flashback about this random ass character for like 5 episodes, and I'm like, I have no complaints. Give me the world building. I will take it. I don't care how slow this arc is. Give it to me. But if I had one modest complaint, it would be that like the way they fight Enel is like he's a badass villain, right? Really strong, god complex, and all that. But I feel like one of the issues is just nothing seems too punishing in One Piece, especially in this arc. Like when a character gets knocked out by Enel, they always come back like in like 2 episodes, and it kind of bothered me a little, that little thing. I told Nux this beforehand, and I guess now he wants to expose me as a Skypiea hater for some reason, but that's probably my only complaint. It feels like whenever Enel shocks someone, they just come back. So like by the end of Skypiea, I'm like, okay, so did anything really happen as a result of Enel? And it's like, no one really died. Maybe that's just the inner Attack on Titan fan in me just wanting every main character to die. But, you know, I just feel like there wasn't a lot of, like, consequential stuff by the end of the fight. That's probably my only complaint.
If you really think about it, though, I mean, I don't mean to pick at straws, but, like, the Water 7 arc, who died? The Dennis Lobby arc, or you're not there yet. The Alabasta arc, who died? I mean,
there's a lot of people who died in Alabasta.
Yeah, but no one that actually had a name.
No main characters. Yes, yeah. But
yeah, and I think that's
like,
a shonen.
Not my issue wasn't that no one died. It was just like they would get injured, but then they'd be right back into the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
I also hear what you're saying. But, like, there are some scenes in Skypiea that the impact actually feels real. And you're always getting the vibe that the reason
why... Because I agree. I like Skypiea. It was a good arc. This is my only complaint.
Enel does not want to kill his subjects.
I was about to say that, man. Like,
if he wanted to kill them, he would turn them into crisp. He lets them play, and one of the fun storytelling gimmicks in One Piece is how in the beginning of every chapter, every episode, like the narrator says, "Okay, so Luffy's here, Zoro's here, the Shambalin dude, whatever guys, they're here. There are 6 Straw Hats left, 7 Shandora." You know what I'm saying? Like they just set it up as. And what's great is not only does it like keep you invested, it's like a tournament arc or whatever with like different values or everything, but it's also a tournament in the eyes of Enel. He's viewing this from up high. They're playing his game. He doesn't view them as a threat. He doesn't try to kill them.
Dude,
at least
he was upset. He was upset that like Sanji and Usopp got in his way because he didn't want to interfere. Like at the end of the last One Piece Virgin episode, we talked about how he knocked out Sanji and Usopp, and that's where like this arc starts, or this part of the podcast starts. And he legit was upset that he had to knock them out because he didn't want to ruin his game. Like everyone is so insignificant that he doesn't even want to take them out because he'd rather watch them kill each other and have fun.
Like there are but I will say characters are like dying and stuff, and Enel will just show up there to like watch, like with his eyes, and they're like, "Bruh," and he's like, "Oh, you called?" Like, and he's just there.
No, but I will say I think that Eden has a point in terms of once it gets to the last few people left, like nearing the end of the part that we just read, Enel's using like these millions of volts of lightning. And he injures people, he takes them out, but he doesn't kill them. And realistically, if it was human beings, they would be fucking dead.
And I think anyone else would be dead, because at that point he is trying to take them out. And the only thing I have to say about that is it's fucking Zoro and Viper. Like, these guys are beasts. Right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
but also,
a normal human would die.
Didn't Robin also get shocked, but only injured?
Yeah. Every single Straw Hat gets shocked, but like comes back the next episode.
I think Chopper did too, but Nami didn't. Nami's the only one that...
No, Nami's like, too hot to get shocked.
I don't recall Robin coming back.
Like, no, Robin. Maybe. Sorry. Sorry, not yet.
Chopper is knocked out, but I'm obviously assuming he's not dead
No.
because he's a main character. And Robin did talk. She spoke to Luffy, telling him what's going on, even though she's injured. And Nami was the best because Nami's like, hey, man, I don't want to get killed. You want me to go with you? I'll go with you.
Dude, I love Nami. She does not give a freaking damn.
Classic Nami.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, that makes perfect sense. Like, okay, so he just crushed everyone else, including people stronger than me. And all he wants me to say is like, yeah, I'll support your crazy dream. All right, man, I'll support your crazy dream.
I used to dislike Nami, like, earlier in the story. But, like, she's really grown on me just because of small stuff like that. She almost seems like the most realistic character out of all of them.
Guys, who's been saying this since day one?
The funniest thing is Nami's Adamac's favorite character in One Piece.
Oh, really? Well, my favorite's probably Luffy, to be honest, or Sanji.
Sanji, boy, let's
he's
go.
He's a Frigo! He's a Chad lad!
Let's go.
I like Sanji because he's such an unabashed simp. I respect that. But in terms of Luffy and Zoro, they are so over the top, like careless and powerful and all this type of stuff. Whereas I do feel like Nami's like the grounding character. She's like the character. If one of us were thrown into that world, we would act more like Nami than anyone else.
If I was thrown into that world, I'd be like Usopp. I'd be like, I need to get the hell out of here.
No, but Nux is more the Usopp, I would say.
Bruh.
I see.
Whereas I would be the Nami and Briggs.
If I was in One Piece, we all know I would be the big news Morgans, but no spoilers.
I don't know what that is.
Wow.
I don't know what that is either.
Who would I be?
I sent you two.
You're a Luffy. I'll give you a Luffy.
I don't know if that's a
You have zero common sense, Briggs. So I'll give you the Luffy.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, I have no sense of direction either, so maybe I'm a Zoro too.
I sent you two images in the Discord. Look at the scene. Enel just appears in front of everyone to see how they react to his like godliness. So he shows up to Robin, and Robin's like, "And you are," and then he has this smile, and he's like, "God," like that's how he introduces himself. And in this second image, because I feel like this is how he regards the entire arc. He says, "Yeah, let's orchestrate the final act together. This is a big game. These are like the lowly humans fighting with their peasantly squabbles before His Majesty." Like,
yes.
This is how he's regarding all of it. That's why he's a great villain. Also, he's not grounded in the same realm as most of the characters that we meet.
Yeah, and I love it. I do love him as a character. I think you're right. It's like you're looking at someone who was a human, but then it attained such power that was so above everyone else that it completely changed him, and his motivations are completely different than just some guy trying to get money or whatever. So I do really like him and his power. I just don't know how how are they gonna beat him, and if they do, like if they end up killing him, I'm kind of gonna be upset because it's like, yo, this dude is too cool.
Did you say that they would kill him? How impudent of you, Anime.
No, I said if they killed him, I would be kind of upset.
Blasphemize Enel.
Wow. Someone just said I'm Bartolomeo, and that's so accurate. And
oh my god, that's so accurate!
And the greatest part about that is he's designed to be like, he's a One Piece fanboy, and I'm a One Piece fanboy. That's amazing.
All right, no spoilers, dude. People are gonna get upset, even though it's not really a spoiler.
Oh, who cares?
But I do love him.
So
someone said I would be Buggy the Clown. Nah, fam, I would do it on purpose.
We had to talk about Robin versus Yama.
Nux would be Beppo on cocaine.
Hey, someone just donated $20 and said thank you and Roger Base and get Roger. Oh, thank you and Roger Base for getting me into One Piece. We got to get Roger's Base on an episode coming soon.
Yeah, sure. He's been on Rant Cafe, so we got to get him on the One Piece version for sure. Can we talk a bit?
Really is Buggy, in my opinion.
Can we talk a bit about? So obviously, Nux is a clown, but no, obviously, the Enel and Shandora stuff were the big interesting things to me. But there were some other smaller parts that I really liked. One of them was the fight between Chopper and Gedatsu.
Yeah,
no, I actually like that.
Funny.
That was
it
so
seemed
fun.
like Chopper was like starting to man up a little, which was actually kind of interesting to see as him as a character.
Yeah, and the actual humor was so like I don't know what's with Gedatsu. I think he's been shocked a little too many times by Enel, but he's just like he's like looking all scary, but he's like I can't see where the opponent is, and his assistant guy's like, yeah, because you're showing the whites of your eyes, so you're obviously not gonna be able to tell anyone. Don't worry what it is.
Yikes.
And then, bro, when
Oh,
Gedatsu does
oops.
his whole thing, he does this like big wind up for an attack to smash Chopper with his swamp cloud burger or whatever he calls it. And then he ends up hitting his own guy by mistake. He's like, I'm gonna get you with the
poor guy
with the
can't see. What do you
swamp
blame
cloud burger, and like Chopper's like, oh no, no, and he ends up hitting the guy that's working with him, and Chopper's like, what? Oh, I lost it. That was so funny. And then Chopper ends up saving that sheep guy that was working with Gedatsu, and the sheep guy's like, screw this, I'm switching sides, and he ends up helping Chopper. Oh, that was gold. That was gold.
Yeah, my favorite line in that fight, though, the One Piece humor is great, but my favorite line is because in Alabasta, Usopp and Chopper fought together. So this is Chopper's first solo fight, and he's kind of been like running away from fights, pretending to be a freaking raccoon and like avoiding people. And this is his first one-on-one fight against one of the Kami or whatever they're called, like one of the 5 guardians.
The priests.
Priests. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Core.
Let's go. I'm a genius.
His name is Eden.
I know.
Stop.
I'm doing it on purpose. I'm doing it on purpose. But he ends up saying, it's time for me to raise my own pirate flag. And if you remember in Drum Island, there was the whole symbolism of the flag going on, and the person he looks up to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
so
I
Chopper's
appreciated that
definitely
little
also
thing.
getting development.
Yep.
And I remember last episode when Chopper just like walked by one of the dudes, and he's like, oh, I guess that's like an animal or something.
It's the raccoon.
He wasn't even attacked, yeah. Oh, I was so pissed when those fat sheep dudes, when they used their farts on their scent dial and used it on Nami. I was like, dog. Fuck those guys.
I love how much you love Nami.
Yeah, Nami's awesome.
Dude, Robin versus Yama. I love that fight.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
Oh, the fat dude, right?
Yeah, fat dude.
Yeah, so it was like she was trying to protect the artifacts and ruins. That was her main thing, and this guy kept causing trouble. So she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna like choke this dude out. She covers his eyes. She like uses her hands to just like destroy the dude. It was pretty interesting. Although it is creepy how her devil fruit works, man.
Her devil
She
fruit has
just
so
floods-
much potential.
She floods the whole. She
20,
floods like the whole
20.
ground with like her disembodied hands. Like that's messed up, man.
So Yama was too physically strong for Robin to do her typical just cracking their necks and just taking them out in one shot. So she struggled a little bit, and also she was so worried about protecting the history, right? Yeah. Not the poneglyph. Wait, what did you say? Sorry.
Never mind. You're right.
Yeah,
I said
whatever-
poneglyphs, but there's no poneglyphs
Not
there.
the poneglyph, but whatever the artifacts and
It was like the
history and all
ruins
that. The
of the
ruins,
city.
exactly.
And
So worried about
but
that,
the
she
ruins
wasn't
have the
fighting back.
same. The ruins have the same writing as the poneglyphs,
Yes.
right? Did I get that correctly?
Yes.
So they're not technically considered poneglyphs, but they are clearly connected to that.
And I really found cool about this fight is like, because this is one of the first opponents she wasn't able to take out in one hit, so she had to like do things like covering her eyes, the person's eyes, or poking them out, or as the person was jumping to she like created like a bunch of hands to grab the person's feet and like swung him into the tree, and then he reversed his weapon the guy's weapon against himself, and it was a cool fight. And he rolls him off the cliff, and I don't know, I really liked how like creative they were with their devil fruit, which is something I wish we saw more often.
Yeah, you're right, because it's not like a basic power like fire or something. It's something more complex, and you gotta be more creative to make it effective.
Exactly.
So there was also that whole Thunderdome fight with Zoro.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
That was cool. They were all in a cage, and then there was the big serpent, which ended up being the cave that Luffy fell in.
That literally was like one of the few moments that One Piece has made me cry laughing. I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? This man has been a snake the entire time."
Like I knew it was something weird because Luffy kept saying stuff like, "Why does this cave keep moving?"
Yeah.
But I was like, "What's going on here?" But one thing I don't know is how they saw anything within the snake, right? Because they acted like they were seeing everything fine, but wouldn't it be completely dark in there?
It's anime. You know how it is.
I guess.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to trust in the anime logic.
Yeah, so we got some of Enel's like backstory. Apparently, he was born on another sky island that is separate from Skypiea. He destroyed that island. He came to Skypiea, took over, and now he wants to destroy Skypiea too because he feels like Skypiea is just too small and insignificant for him as, the god of that world, and he wants a bigger, I guess,
Dude,
realm.
well, the fact that like Gonfall is like talking to him, and then he says to Gonfall, "Back when you were God, God was just a title, and then I
Yeah.
took over." It's like, whoa.
Yeah. And it's
Don't
true
mess-
because
don't mess
at
with
least
this man.
within
You can feel
Skypiea,
the tension in the air whenever he's actually like in the manga. Every single panel that he's in, you feel the tension.
yeah,
It's like he
And-
shows up to all like all the 5 of them are all standing there after their fights, and he's like, "Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you will kill each other, or I will kill one of you. The choice is yours." It's like, oh man.
yeah, and he really is truly like a god figure within Skypiea because within that area, he has the range to, as you said, listen to like all conversations, just smite down anyone who might talk bad about him. So he is this like omnipresent and vengeful god who they literally have to worship him because he sees everything, he knows everything, he can destroy them within seconds. So it is interesting that now, even though he has all that power, he's like, this isn't enough. I need to go and find another realm where it's more challenging to establish that after doing everything he's done. But clearly, he is just not satisfied where he is, and he created this entire like golden flying ship thing. So that was interesting. Nami was like, "Bro."
Do we know what Enel's goal is just yet?
I from what I understood is he wants to crash Skypiea into the
Blue
ocean, back into the ocean, because he feels like men are not supposed to live in the sky. It's unnatural. And also, I feel like he feels limited. He feels kind of like caged up in that small space that Skypiea is. He wants a bigger realm for himself.
Okay. And that's why he created the Arc Magnum or whatever it's called, the big ship with all the gold and stuff. I guess maybe we don't know
the
this yet.
Gilgamesh ship.
Yeah.
I am assuming he created it as like a way for him to like go and conquer new realms, but that's just what I'm thinking.
And there seems to be this infatuation with Verth or whatever.
Verse or Vars, whatever it is.
I don't know.
But that is just Vars is just normal Earth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fancier.
Well,
I
it's
guess
fancy for them.
Yes.
Well, this isn't a spoiler now that we know that the Golden City flew up to the sky. So back when we were on Jaya, when like everyone was calling Nolan the liar and his ancestor was searching in the oceans, we now know that it's in the sky, which is pretty.
Yes, correct.
That was like
correct.
my first genuine jaw drop of One Piece when we found out that was part of Jaya. Like that was like, bruh. That was my
cool.
biggest bruh moment in One Piece.
Yeah, we actually found that out last week, but definitely interesting stuff.
Yes.
And then this week we found out that the ruins that they saw were only the surface, and actually you can go beneath, and then that is where the whole city of Shandora is. But it seems that Enel has plundered all the gold to use it for his ship, and that ship itself now is basically Nami's wet dream, bro. A flying ship made of pure gold. Although I feel like with Nami that would be like the biggest conflict, because it's like, should I just keep this ship and because it flies and I'm a navigator, I can fly wherever I want, or should I scrap it for parts and be fucking rich, right? So it's like,
People in the chat are trying to correct us on NL's goal, but it's spoilers, and I don't understand why they think they can spoil. But when I spoil Sanji dies in the manga, everyone gets so upset at me for like literally no reason. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I was asking Animac and not telling what the goal was, because
I don't think the goal is actually revealed.
It hasn't been revealed, but there's been a few things. So I just wanted to see what his current perspective was.
yeah.
Right.
So that is my current perspective. I feel like he
What
thinks
realm?
he's too big.
What
He's too
okay,
big for
He's too big. His
Skypiea.
ego is too big for him, and he is too big for Skypiea. So what realm is he looking for? Like, what's he doing? Dropping the Skypiea into the ground? Okay, now he has nothing. Sucks to be him. Like,
So in these
what's
chapters,
his whole idea?
in these chapters, they do say he's searching for endless Vars.
Yeah,
Fuck,
this
whatever it's
fairy verse.
called. Yeah, he's looking for the endless of it because right now, like, they're in the sky, but we don't know where that is. Or
Has he
we're
ever
all,
been
at that point? I'm
to-
assuming that it's the Earth, right?
Has Enel ever been to like the ocean, like the underneath there, or has he
No,
always? He's always been up top.
Always been
Yeah.
up
I think
top.
so.
So his motive is almost coming out of ignorance, in a sense.
Yeah,
In a
they
sense.
they treasure all they know is clouds, and they treasure this one island that appeared out of nowhere. Probably growing up,
Yes.
it was a sacred island that you could never step foot on. It was the Vars, right? And
Yeah.
there's this mystery of this land down below with the blue sea that has tons of this stuff.
Exactly. So it's like he could take over instead of just Skypiea, this isolated area of the sky. He could take over an entire continent or something.
So the
Mhm.
thing is, I think Oda said in an interview that if he would actually have gone down to the Blue Sea and be given a bounty, I think he said his bounty would be 500 million.
That's crazy. It makes sense. Like crocodile is probably
Take
around
that.
100 or more.
Take
like,
that,
since it got
Doflamingo.
Yeah, take that, Doflamingo. Pathetic 340 million against
Yeah.
the god of this new world.
I will say, I will say that I do read those notes on the sides that Oda leaves, and he had one quote in there that I thought was cool. He said, "Even the most dastardly of crimes can sometimes be mistaken for justice."
Yeah.
Oda. I think that's true in our world and in the world of One Piece.
Yep.
And I saw that in the chat on the previous video on YouTube. Some people were saying that we should talk about the kind of cover stories. So what happened since we talked about it last, Wapol was kind of banished from his kingdom, and he started like a toy company. And then his toy company blew up. He married Miss Universe, and now he's like got all this money and he wants to go back to his evil ways. And then we transitioned to Ace, Luffy's brother, looking for Blackbeard, and then he like beat up this random guy who looked like Blackbeard by accident, and then he got run out of town, and now he ended up on some farm, and some girl is helping him. So yeah, that's what's been happening in
I
the.
kind of feel bad for
story.
Eden because one of the cover stories is very relevant to the Skypiea arc, and you will never see it because you're just watching the anime. So I'll tell you after the stream a certain Skypiea relevant
Okay.
cover story.
Let me know.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Okay, not Nux, Animac. What was your reaction when you read 279, Enel versus Luffy? Luffy finally escapes the fucking cave, aka the snake, and like he runs up to fight Eneru.
Yeah, so it makes sense that the lightning doesn't affect Luffy because he's made out of rubber, and rubber is a conductor for lightning, right?
Mm.
And I thought it was hilarious how NL reacted to this when he realized he was
yeah.
just
bro, that face. It's the fucking face of the century. I love that face so much. I've
And it's-
adorned my abode with that face.
Yeah, it's like a great meme, but it's also such a stark contrast to everything else so far, because so far NL's been so confident and supremely like badass composed, and then he's like, "Ooh, someone actually isn't affected by my power," but
about
he
this.
quickly recovers. He realizes that a rubber dude will be hurt by sharp objects, so he combines his power with like a sharp stick thing, and they start fighting again. So yeah, I don't know. Whatever they do to NL, he seems to be able to just outclass everyone. So I don't know how they're gonna defeat him.
Well, the reaction
No,
makes
but
so much sense.
The fact
The
that he does. Yeah, you were saying, Briggs. I was gonna say.
Go ahead, go for it.
No, you man.
So I just wanted to say, like, it makes so much sense because his entire life, NL has been untouchable, and anyone that he wants to take out, he could take out with ease. And he goes to do this to Luffy, and Luffy's face is so good too because he didn't even realize what happened. He just like biting his
Yeah,
lip like
he's like, I must have dodged it.
I must have dodged it. It happens a couple times, and Luffy actually lands an attack on Eneru too in chapter 279. So
Yep.
his reaction makes so much sense, and it's insane.
Oh yeah, so I wanted to ask about that. By the way, something in the chat, some people don't realize the 280 was included. It was included in
It
this.
was not included.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
You said, I can show you the Twitter convo where you said 279 and 280 included.
I said until 280 not included, but
Anyway, I read 280, man.
All right.
Stop it. Anyway, the point is, yeah, so I wanted to ask, how did Luffy land the shot? Is it just because he's rubber, he can land the shot just like water
So-
can, if you're wet, you can land a shot on
So
crocodile?
if you think about it, right, yes, because basically the way we're understanding point In other words, the devil fruits that people like transform into any given element. If they meet that, the Pokemon variant of being super effective on them, then for whatever reason they can't become untouchable. So like water to Crocodile or rubber, I guess, to Enel, and so on and so forth. So that's
Does
what
Luffy ever meet someone who has a superior advantage towards him?
Luffy.
Anyone with a sword.
So Luffy's
I meant like
not a
elemental
Logia
wise.
devil fruit, so it doesn't really affect him that much.
Yeah,
Oh,
clearly,
he's Paramithia one, the one that I don't know how to pronounce.
Miss Doublefinger was clearly Luffy's weakness because she just has sharp spikes coming out of everywhere.
Oh yeah, that's a good example.
But
there are 3 ways you could hurt a Logia type, 2 of which are confirmed so far. One is you're the natural weakness, like water to sand, rubber to lightning.
Kairoseki, water, Sea Prism Stone.
Yes, and the second one is Sea Prism Stone, which we actually see happen in this arc. We see
Wiper tries.
Wiper
Bro,
uses
Wiper.
Go ahead.
I love Wiper so much because he's like just a normal guy, but he's just really strong, right? And that's always nice. That's like the appeal to Zoro, right? No powers, just trains hard as hell. Wiper's so similar. He's so cool.
bro, he has the support of his ancestors. Can't underestimate.
Oh my gosh.
he's really-
his back must hurt carrying all of his ancestors on his shoulders. like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because he's a boss.
He's willing to sacrifice it all because he's not even using an impact dial, which already injures your body. He's using, I think it was called a reject dial.
Ooh. Yeah.
Do you guys remember?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember.
It's the reject dial. So he uses the combination of the Sea Prism Stone and the reject dial, which sacrifices his own life to take out Enel. And it actually worked.
Yeah.
And then Enel restarted his heart like a champ.
Hell yeah.
GG's.
Yeah. So I guess he used his electricity power to just like shock his heart or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, he's a badass NL, man. I gotta say, he's definitely by far the most powerful character we've seen so far.
I mean, he isn't.
I
but
just
he's
hope that
the
the way
most
that they defeat
character
him,
we're seeing fight pretty much.
I hope that
mean,
the way
we
that
met-
they end up defeating him is gonna actually not be like cheap. That it's gonna make sense, or perhaps, and I don't know this because I haven't read ahead, but perhaps after this, NL crushes everyone and he becomes the main character of One Piece, and that's the whole. That's the whole secret of One Piece that they don't tell you until you get to chapter 300. Bro.
Nux, what were you saying?
What was I
this?
saying?
You were saying that he's not the strongest character so far.
Right.
He's
So I see.
absolutely.
Yeah. Everyone always brings up that Enel's the character One Piece met so far, but let's not forget we met Mihawk, we met Shanks, we met Whitebeard, we met Blackbeard, and we met Doflamingo. I'm not saying they're all stronger than Enel, but they're all pretty damn powerful. Okay.
I meant more in like villain wise, like someone that they have to fight against. You know, like Crocodile was their last strongest opponent.
Well, I mean, they had to fight against Mihawk, and it didn't work out.
That's true.
at
But we
all.
know Mihawk's the strongest swordsman, so obviously. I wonder how a fight between Enel and Mihawk would go. I'd have my money on
Yeah,
Mihawk.
so that's
I
the
honestly,
thing, yeah.
I think Mihawk would kill.
Yeah.
I think Mihawk's
think so
way
too.
stronger than.
Well, that's the question, because how does the lightning power compare to a sword power? That's the big question. Like, once they're that strong, I feel like it matters how the powers would compare to each other, as opposed to just who can punch harder or whatever.
You're still,
I mean, to be
you're
fair,
still learning about the
Bellamy
powers
knows how to
differently.
like spring around really freaking well.
To be honest, like when I saw that, Enel could just like let people pass through him with spears and nothing happens, I was like, bro, what are you gonna do to this guy? Like, this guy is so OP. That's why I do
like
think
that scene with Luffy at the end, because that face that Enel made, that's pretty mirrored by everyone watching the show. It's
yeah.
like, you imagine they're hyping up this absolute god with this unbelievable power, and you're just at the edge of your seat because every single time this guy's around, it's impossible to beat him. Luffy couldn't beat Smoker. Okay, this guy's also lightning. What's gonna happen? And then he doesn't affect Luffy. All this godlike power does nothing to the main character, and you're like, wait a second.
And you know what that means? That means that Enel is not a god, because if he truly was, then no one would be an exception.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave. I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry.
Hell yeah, sounds good.
It was
dude.
fun.
Thanks for
You guys
coming.
having me. I'm gonna go stream. So bye, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
thanks, Eden. Pleasure.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Link to Eden in the description. Definitely check him out. He's awesome. He smashes a lot of anime waifus. like on the daily. Anyway, so yeah.
Someone said, I think Eden was the one saying that he really liked Wiper. He's okay. I'm more interested in Rocky personally, but it's all good. It's all good.
Who's Rocky? I'm so lost.
I don't know. She's probably a MILF.
Oh,
Rocky is like the Shandian.
Mm-hmm. I know who you're
lady.
talking about now. And Enel, man, what an amazing god. Gender equality doesn't go easy on her.
Right? He zaps Robin, and Zoro's like catches Robin before he hits the. And Zoro says, "She's a woman," and Enel says, "I noticed."
No, but even with this Shandian girl, Wiper's like, she's out of the tournament. She's not fighting. Don't touch her. And then he just fries her.
Yeah, because Enel's trying to prove like he doesn't kill her though. I don't think he kills either her. Or... But I feel like he's like he wants to say it's like, yo, you don't tell me what to do. I punish everyone equally if they displease me, and I don't care about your standards and your beliefs and your convictions. So I thought that was definitely realistic. If you think about someone who is so overpowered compared to other people, the power would definitely corrupt them in a way where they would just feel like I am better than everyone else. Everyone else is like an ant, and they're just part of my plan. And let's play games, dance puppets, but I am the one who calls the shots. Like I totally understand the motivation behind the character, and I love his power, and I love the character himself. So yeah, I'm definitely impressed with him as a villain. He's probably even cooler than Crocodile, because I do like Crocodile's whole political and secret society stuff. I thought that was something that I really enjoyed. But with Enel, he's even crazier in a good way.
Someone just commented, "I am the god who knocks."
I don't get that reference.
You've never watched Breaking Bad, bro?
Yes, I have, but I guess I don't recall that.
Hey, John loves anime. Gifted 5 tier subs. Thank you. Very cool.
Thank you.
Is there anything else we're forgetting? Robin mentions that the bell, she couldn't find it. And Enel mentions that he couldn't find it either.
The golden bell, I guess it has some kind of significance, because I assumed it was just a bell made of gold, and there's a bunch of gold in the city, so it's just more gold. But it seems that this bell is definitely being built up as something that potentially has a power beyond just being worth a lot of money. And yeah, so Robin looked for it, and Enel couldn't find it, so something happened.
Yeah, and I think Enel said he's gonna look for it while everyone else is fighting and stuff. He's like, I'm gonna search the entire island.
You know how they have that big bird, the bell bird, that was flying around?
Saltbird.
I think that's the bell, but the bell ate the bird fruit.
Great theory.
Expect the unexpected with One Piece. I mean, there's a very prevalent theory that Kaido is a poneglyph that ate a human fruit. But, I mean, let's not talk about that.
But we've already had a human fruit. How many are there out there?
Okay, so he ate a demon fruit. Sure, why not? He's pretty freaking huge. Anyway, not the point.
So do we know, in terms of the fruit, is there only one of each?
Yes.
One of each.
And how do they appear then? Because then they must not grow on trees if only one grows.
I don't consider it a spoiler because it's basically just info dropped later, but it is explained.
Yeah, it gets explained later how it works.
I think it's explained in the Dressrosa arc, actually.
All right, well, we'll wait.
No, it's definitely explained before then, no?
Is it?
I don't know.
Because when someone says fruit, I imagine, there's a bunch of it on a tree, but clearly not.
Mm-hmm. So, in regards to the bell, Enel does say that when this island first appeared in the sky, they heard there's a tale of they all heard the sound of a bell.
Yeah, or they call it the song of the sky or something.
All right, people in chat are arguing whether it's Punk Hazard or Dressrosa, but it's literally the same arc. Okay, shut up. It's one episode off. It's either the end of Punk Hazard or it's the beginning of Dressrosa.
Well, that's why there's theories about Monet, but that's spoilers.
Yes, that's spoilers. Please, Briggs.
I can mention the name and say there's a theory about a character that he's never met.
All right, but I thought you were gonna be like, there's a theory about Monet. after she killed Luffy, and I was like, all right, we don't want. Right. Anyway.
Like honestly, I'm really excited for seeing the conclusion of Skypiea and how Enel kills everyone and becomes the new protagonist of.
I know that pretty much I've been spending most of this episode of the One Piece version just simping Enel, but I have to say my favorite part of this arc is the whole 100-year time gap of history, and like because it's actually important to the overall story, even though this really seems like a little enclosed tale. And I like there are many things I like about the Skypiea arc in all. But before talking about, I guess, finales or like overall thoughts, I guess it makes sense to finish it, which is why next week, One Piece version, chapters 280 to 302, including 302 this time. And,
Okay.
Going forward, we're always going to say the chapters that we're including. So technically, we were supposed to read 280 next week, so it's 280 through 302, always including both numbers that we say.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
and that's what I've been doing anyway. But
Okay, very cool.
yeah, I think you're right, Nux. I've been interested in this whole history aspect ever since Alabasta and Robin was first introduced, because Robin seems to be the conduit for this kind of historical stuff because she's an archaeologist. And yeah, I'm very interested in this whole secret history, the poneglyphs, polnarefs, all right, the poneglyphs, and this idea of like they don't know what happened during a certain period of time that clearly was important. And I also wonder whether the Alabasta and Pluton stuff is connected to how a part of Jaya ended up being in the sky in the first place.
Well, that's actually very interesting.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know, obviously.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
anyway,
you guys for
Actually,
joining
no,
us.
there's one more thing I want to say. Zoro did the 108-pound Phoenix, which was the distance
epic
sword
attack.
attack that he did last week, but now he did it with 3 swords. Nami takes out someone, which was pretty cool, and I think now we got everything.
Yeah, Usopp didn't do shit this one.
Yeah, he got taken out.
No, we forgot the Sanji moment. The Sanji moment. One of the greatest Sanji moments in the entire story.
It didn't happen yet.
But-
Did it happen?
No, he just got shocked
Oh.
and him and Usopp have been out.
Okay, it
Remember?
didn't happen
Oh,
yet.
really?
That's my favorite. That's
Right,
one of my
my
favorite
My
Sanji
bad. My
moments.
bad. You're right. I'm wrong. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've been
I just saw
taken
someone
out.
mention it in the chat, and I was like, "What?" But you're right. It's not here. You're right.
Cool. Anything else we need to do before we wrap it up?
No, I think
I think
that's
we're good.
pretty much it.
All right, thank you guys for joining us. We're back again next week, and we will do the G8 filler arc afterwards. So stop pestering us, everybody.
Yo, can
No,
we do G8 and long ring, long?
I don't know. I don't know what the other thing is, so we'll talk about it.
Alright.
Thank you guys for all the support, for sharing and caring and all that cool stuff. And see you again next week. And don't forget, on Thursdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/RantCafe, we do the Rant Cafe Anime Podcast, which is a more general anime podcast. And this week we are premiering the new chapter of our very own Isekai, so please join us. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.
Time for reviews.
Bang! Reviews. We should do reviews.
Hell yeah.
Why do you do this to me, Nux?
I was waiting for you to just, give us a good outro before doing some reviews.
And until next time, let's talk about some fucking reviews. All right, go. Do
All
it.
right. So, 5 stars. Damn, that's a good rating right there. Hell yes. Something I like about One Piece 5 stars. I love the part of One Piece where Aquainu kills Assel. I hope you read that loud because it's totally a real spoiler. Please DM me to give me my free shirt.
Yeah, from now on, you can DM Nux for your free shirt. Everyone who Nux is promising free shirts to.
Hell yeah. Next review, no one understands 5 stars. 5 stars, boys! Everyone talks about how no one understands Zolo, but in reality, no one understands the way Nux understands Zolo. True mad lad, deep psychology, epic, 7 exclamation marks. Thank you, Michael, over 9,000. Very cool. Next review. One Piece Virgin, 5 stars. I know and understand wholeheartedly that nobody understands Zoro, but I cannot stand by and say nothing about the only true mad lad. That is Bellamy. I think I speak for all the people when I say we need a No One Understands Bellamy video series. Oh, God. Oh, and love the podcast, by the way. Keep it up. Thank you. Very cool. Base Mihawk. Very cool.
Well, it
Next
seems to me
review.
that, Nux, it seems to me that,
No one understands.
yeah,
Zoro.
no one really understands Bellamy except you, because I don't think
Fact.
anyone gives a shit about him as much as you do.
Well, when he comes back, yeah, maybe you'll change your tune. Favorite podcast, 5 stars. I mean, the One Piece crew did need a helmsman. Am I right, Brigo?
I wasn't paying attention at all. What happened?
Classic Nux.
I was just trying to spoil that Bellamy joins the Straw Hats and whatever. Anyway, favorite podcast, 5 stars. Look forward to the new episode every week. Love hearing other people's covers. By the way, I'd love to hear you guys discuss some of the movies. Eventually, personally, I think One Piece is some of the best movies out of any series. They're must-watch. A Strong World, Film Z, Gold, and Stampede are all bangers. Keep up the good work. Love you guys. In fact, I never watched any of the One Piece movies, so I have no opinion on it. Next, the thing I look forward to all week, 5 stars. Seriously, the only podcast I actually try to catch live, and definitely the one I look forward to most every week. The dynamic between Lord Brigo, Lord Nuxinor, and Animac, spelled with a C with a K,
No, it's not.
is unrivaled.
Okay.
That's how he wrote it. Spelled with a C with a K. Throw in some awesome
Man,
guests.
that's philosophical right there. That's some
Am I
deep.
right? Hell yes. I'm throwing some awesome guests. I'm looking at you, teching, #collab me, and you've got hands down the best anime. This podcast inspired me to make my own YouTube channel and to make YouTube videos. Tyler Doe on YouTube. That's how awesome this podcast is. If you have never listened to the podcast before but love One Piece, listen to this podcast. Hell yeah. Thank you, Tyler Doe. Very cool.
Tyler Doe.
Yeah. And if in any of Tyler Doe's videos you see him with an Anime Uproar shirt. Next review.
Sent by Nuxtaku.
Yeah, sent by Noxtaku. The
Greatest podcast, 5 stars. I found this podcast after starting the Rant Cafe Anime podcast and have been binging this one, and I was so happy to hear that Nux and Briggs and Animac with a C have been enjoying listening to all 3 of you argue how to stay on track. Don't ever change. Also, hook a homie up with a free shirt.
Nux, go ahead, bro. Guys, do you know that Nux is a millionaire? Okay, he has over a million subscribers, so technically he's a millionaire. So ask him.
Dude, I love how
for your
dude, there are
free
these
shirts.
websites that like estimate my net worth, and I was just curious, so I went to look what my net worth is. It says anywhere between 100K and 10 million.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
I mean,
bro.
okay.
And
Anyway.
me and Brigo, we don't even register on these websites, so we're not millionaires.
It's true.
Anyway,
$10 million Nux. That's what we're gonna call him from now on.
I'm not opposed.
Although,
Anyway,
to be
Nux.
fair, if Social Blade can't get it right and they have accurate information, how are these fucking third-party websites gonna figure out
Dude,
anything?
it's the funniest thing in the world. When I saw that, like, between 100K and 10 million, I was like, damn.
So Social Blade sucks too. It'll be like, monthly they earn between $130,000.
Exactly right.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm nowhere near that, but anyway, especially with the demonetized. Anyway, moving on. Lord Twigo approved podcast, 5 stars. The podcast is amazing. Badass that no one understands. Briggs, the chat of the group, and Animac, the MILF Hunter, is a great dynamic. But the best part of the show are the side characters, with teching, and pretty much just teching. But everyone else is cool, especially Simpanito, Hiding in Public, and Jimmy. They're all right, I suppose. Hell yeah.
Wait, Simpanito and Hiding weren't ever on the One Piece Virgin.
Don't ask questions, Animac. Just bask in the glory. All right, next review. Best podcast in the world! For the best laugh in One Piece. Get out of here. Clearly, you're wrong. Blackbeard and... No, fam. Caesar has the best laugh in One Piece. All right? Also, Nux, Zoro sensing the booze in the latest chapter of One Piece was a huge flex. Also, saved the lives of the Wano Samurai. I want to understand Zoro, damn it. Very cool. Nux and Briggs! 5 stars. Zoro versus Samurai and Wano. Best fight. Doflamingo-sama is my father. Next.
Bro, hold on. So you just spoiled it for me that Zoro has a fight with a samurai. How could you?
I mean, I don't care. Next review. Clowning with Caesar. 5 stars. I like Punk Hazard. Also, Nux, who's Kaido? Next review. Goat. 5 stars. Love One Piece. It's fun to see through new eyes. My favorite YouTubers and my favorite manga. That's really nice. All right. Next. Monster Trio. 5 stars. Animac with a C. Nux and Briggs. This podcast is dope. Animac with the C's first look at what I look forward to. So ease up on the interrupting him, LOL. It's so refreshing to see someone experience it for the first time because it takes me back to when I read it. Although Animac with the C, his notes, and the help from Nux and Briggs is getting way more in-depth experience than I had. Sweating smiley face. I do enjoy how passionate Nux and Briggs are about One Piece and what they bring to each episode. They bring things down deeper for Animag with a C, and although Animag with a C might be a little lost when they do, he'll definitely appreciate it later. Keep them coming. See you next week. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a lesson, guys, in internet etiquette. Obviously, my name is Animac with a K, but because I said it's not with a C, it's with a K once, now every edgelord on the internet is saying Animac with a C. So that's what you get,
Just
guys.
saying.
Never
Never
defend yourself on the
Means
internet
you're doing a great
over
job.
anything. Never defend yourself on the internet over anything because it will just get memed. That is a good lesson.
All right. Nice damage control there, Animac. Next review. 5 stars. Amazing! I caught up to One Piece 2 years ago. And I love podcast. Thank God Animac with a K. Finally forced to read this. I came to this podcast hoping I could finally understand Zoro, and we are still left unfulfilled. Insert Nux's. Next review. More so a complaint than a review. Should I read it? Or because it's really long. It's a really long complaint.
Well, then
right.
don't. We're not going to be sitting here for half an hour. Just
reading the complaint live.
Skim it.
Throw
skim
some
it
balls,
and give us your
Animac.
summary.
One of the greatest podcasts about One Piece in the world. And you know I'm serious because it's in the world, not Zowardo. Jokes aside, I do love this podcast, and host gives me an excuse to reread the manga and watch the anime. It became my gateway into anime and the weeb way of life, allowing me to look into smaller details that I never noticed the first few times I watched the series, reminding me why One Piece is such a great series and more. More should give it a chance. On that note, in the second half of Alabasta, I noticed something that no one brought up. During the big battle between the rebels and the Royal Army, Nico Robin was escorting King Cobra to the burial ground where this poneglyph is when she was stopped by the Marines, which was spelled wrong in this review/criticism. Now, up to this point, every time we have seen Robin, from her first time introduced at the end of Whiskey Peak, she's always been a mysterious woman who keeps her calm. Even when a warlord of the sea threatened her, she was cool. But when faced with the Marine, she gets a little angry, and for the first time since her introduction, she loses her temper, or as close to it as we'll get. When a Marine officer brings up a story on how she obtained a high bounty at the age of 8, that is when she lost her cool. Now, for you, Animac, this won't make any sense. Wow, this is just a big spoiler that we hey guys, why didn't you talk about this spoiler?
Oh yeah, why didn't you talk about a spoiler? Because no one would have minded that.
Bro, I respect
Anyways,
it,
thank you for your spoiler.
I'm not finished.
I think it's
well,
worth
don't
mentioning.
spoil it.
I think it's worth mentioning.
I agree. I think it's worth mentioning. I think it's a good call. Criticism's part, I think they're right. We should have mentioned it. Now, for you, Animac, this won't make sense to you right now, but when it does make sense, remove this review. What? I have no idea what that's
supposed to mean. I don't have the power to remove reviews.
I don't know.
Anyways.
Either. I'm not. Let me finish, Animac. You're interrupting him because he's criticisming. You're silencing the critics. Bruh, I thought you were all about free speech. I know you won't.
The clock is ticking,
right.
bro.
Also, Nux and Briggs! Call for a few Broman, chant the Nux and Briggs thing. Why didn't you bring this up when you were talking about great foreshadowing in this arc? I understand it's not the most noteworthy, but I feel like someone should have brought it up, and I believe this guy deserves a free t-shirt. Yes. Sorry for the long... First time leaving a review. Cool fact. Wrote the draft for this at 2 a.m, trying to get through an overnight shift with my brother, who is sadly not into One Piece. Be safe. Keep on making great content. Thank you, Bookworm3993. Mad respect to you. And I think he's right. We should have mentioned it. It was a good call.
Thank you, I think. I'm not sure with the way Nux delivered this. I don't know if it was a criticism or a
so
review.
Now you're blaming the delivery. Man,
yeah, I'm blaming the delivery.
You're shutting up the haters. I'm kidding. This man's not a hater. He's a man.
Although there were some people in the chat who were calling me Animelf, and I will accept that name. Thank you.
Very cool. We're proud of you, man. Making great strides.
I have a good idea to incorporate my appreciation for a certain kind of woman into our Isekai light novel, so look forward for that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes! Anyway, so as Animac said before, stay weird, fam! Bang!
Bang!
See you, Space Cowboys!
End the podcast.